So it's great to see you.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's a pleasure to be on with you today, and I appreciate you reaching out to do a podcast.
Oh, yeah. First off, let me get something out of the way that I'm sure all your fans are asking. Do you know why Young and the Restless decided to kill off Cole?
Oh wow, that's excuse me. That's a really good question. Um, well, first, Suzanne, it took me by surprise.
Right?
Obviously, thank you, son. When Cole got sick or started with a cough, my first thought was he's going to have this cough. He's going to get sick. He might get really sick because it's lingering for a long time. And I know the viewers, were very keen to, hey, we've seen this before. I think they're going to write this character off. Me, on the other hand, I really had a lot of faith that it was working well for Cole and I, over at the show. I really felt like it was starting to really click with Amelia Heinley, who's
Sure.
Victoria, and the relationship with Claire. I just thought there was a really nice family dynamic that may have been slightly a different tone than some of the other family relationships. I just felt like we had a certain uniqueness to us,
Hmm.
and I felt like all of the goods were there, if you will, all of the history.
Right?
Three, good actors, lots of history, lots of
Yeah.
stuff to work with. So I felt like this was going to be something that they were going to utilize to move Cole into the tack house, which it seemed as though we were going in that direction.
Hmm.
And then Victoria would nurse Cole back to health, and that would quickly speed up their relationship, so they
Right.
could take us to a different place in the relationship
Yeah.
and possibly even remarry, that sort of thing. So,
Mhm.
uh, but actually, that was not the intent, and it never really was the intent. That was me, the wishful actor, thinking, "Hey, this is working."
Yeah.
But what it really was, Josh Griffith, our executive producer, head writer, he had given me a call, and he was so kind and gracious, and just really a very very heartfelt conversation that we had. And he says, Jay Eddie, we only intended on bringing you back for a couple of days. We saw you at the 50th, and everybody got to talk and said, wow. See, Jay Eddie, he looks great. Gee, and there was a lot of chatter, and the fans have wanted Cole to come back for some time. And, due to the 50th, they brought a lot of people back for
Sure.
cameos and things. So I looked as though, hey, we're going to take back for a couple of days. This might be interesting and fun.
Hmm.
And then he said, but we liked you. We liked the dynamic with you and Amelia and Haley. And he said, and we just really liked you. He said, I love what you did, and I just continued to write for you. So and so really, everything beyond that 2 days, Suzanne was really a gift, and it's
Ah,
something I'm very very grateful for.
so
And it's been really really nice, at this time in my life
sure.
to be able to go back and play the role that I love so much. And so I'm very very grateful for that. And he did his thing. I think Josh did say to me, he says, we got to kill Cole to take Victoria and Claire where we need them to go.
Ah,
So I don't know exactly what that means, but I
right.
do believe that there's obviously going to be a big story,
Right.
big setup for those characters, and Cole was kind of the sacrificial lamb, I guess, if you will, to propel those characters emotionally, where they'd
Right.
like to take them. So, yeah, they're due their ride, and I wish I was along for it, but
Yeah.
again, I'm grateful for the 20 months that I did get.
Well, even though they did kill him off, they could bring him back because it's a soap and anything's possible, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's been a lot of chatter, even when it was first learned, over at the show. I had at least half the directors come to me and say, there's you'll be back. But who knows? You know what I mean? Who
You're
knows? I
right.
mean,
That's
I mean,
fun.
listen, I certainly can't guess any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, who knows? I mean, Josh is very, very creative. If he ever woke up in the middle of the night and says, you know what? And that might have been a mistake. Let's bring that cowboy back.
Yeah, yeah.
So who
Yeah,
knows?
and I mean, I could say this because people say it about me, but you don't look your age at all. So,
Oh, yeah,
I
thank
mean, they
you.
can
Thank
easily
you.
bring you back in 10 years, you'll still look great.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but when I went back for the 50th, I made a big, big mistake, Suzanne. When I went back for the 50th, I was so anxious to take my wife, we were really excited and whatnot. And she says, you know what? You don't want to take me. Take Austin, my son, my oldest son. And I was like, Dad, I'd love to go. This might be my only chance to ever go with you, for something like that. Sure, I'd love to go. Well, Suzanne, and he's not in the room, so I can say this. My son is 6'7" and better looking than on my best day in life. So I take this guy that completely upstages me. I mean, if you can look all over the internet and there's all these pictures of him at the 50th, and he's not an actor, he's kind of I hate to say struggling musician, but somewhat of a struggling musician. And and he's all over the place because the people are like, my gosh, who is that?
Is
Six
he
foot
the one that
seven.
was wearing the mustache and beard in the picture you sent me?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh
know
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
he
that's him.
he looked a little bit, and I can't remember the actor's name, Don something, that used to play Brad on Young and the Restless, and
Oh,
now
Don
he's
Diamont.
playing, yeah, and he's
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
Dollar
there's
Bill
some
on Bold and Beautiful with that whole
yes.
facial hair.
Yes.
He looks a lot like him.
Yeah, yeah, it has a bit of that that joke. Yeah, he has black. My son has black hair.
Yeah.
So he is very dark. Yeah.
So tell us how it came about. Let's go back a little bit to 2023's when you returned to as Cole after 26 years. Hard to believe it's 26 years,
You
but
see, I'm going to interrupt you.
oh, doggy.
My baby.
Oh, there's your little baby.
Baby, this is my
Oh,
he is a rescue that I've had 8 months, and I just
sweet.
adore him. He is such a sweet boy, and I love him so much. Good boy. Yes,
He's so
he
cute.
is. Oh, he's a
Oh.
ball. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
That's
that's fine. You can always
he was
interrupt
looking
your
up at me.
pets.
Daddy, you're ignoring me. You're not talking with me.
I
Uh,
put mine in the back room because she'll bark. She
oh
might.
yeah. Well, I've got a house full of
Yeah.
dogs here.
They
But
must
I'm
be
so
quieter
sorry.
than mine.
You were asking me a question. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay. How did it come about back in 2023 when they asked
Oh,
you to come on the show?
oh, well, yeah, that's a good question. Again, YNR had its 50th anniversary, and they had a special event,
Right?
and I've been off the show. At that time, I was off the show about 23 and a half years.
Hmm.
And they hadn't seen me in a long time. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they have invited me back for anniversaries and things like that. They've been really nice to me over the years, and they've always invited me back. But
Right?
they hadn't seen me at that in that time. I don't know, maybe in about 5 years or something like that. So when I showed up and everything, my son and I, we went. My son's very Western, and we went wearing our Western gear. Just let's kind of go. Let's just go being us. I don't have to dress looking
Right.
all soapy. And I think it just kind of brought a little more attention, and people like, well, who? Oh, hey, that's Jay Eddie. Oh my gosh, that's Jay Eddie. And so a lot of the network people saw me, and writers and this and that, and they kind of got the idea. Wow, we ought to bring him back for the Blast for the Past event.
Mhm.
So I got a call maybe a couple of months later, and YNR was doing their very first Blast from the Past. And I'd asked Kathy Thomas, Kathy, I said, oh, who else is doing the Blast from the Past? She says, well, you're the first one we called. I said, oh, great. Okay. So I did that. They brought back, alumni from,
Mhm.
from B&B, the Young and Restless. And by far, I was the longest person to be off the show. So I told my wife, I said, I don't really know if I want to go to this Blast from the Past. She says, well, why? I said, it's going to be embarrassing. I said, because no one is going to know who I am. I've been off the show almost 24 years at that point. And I said, no one's going to know me. It's going to be embarrassing. So, Suzanne, when I showed up, thankfully, it was amazing how many fans were our fans back in the 90s
Sure.
and were Cole fans back then. And I got a very, very unexpected reception.
Oh,
And so, you know, I guess I didn't know this, but what I was told by another producer is that before that even happened, Josh already said, I want to bring J.D. Peck back for something. I've got to figure out what it is.
right.
And then about a couple of days after this blast in the past, one of these soap predictors that we see on YouTube that
Mm,
predicts what's going on,
right.
and a reputable one said J.D. Peck is coming back to Young and Restless. And whenever that announcement came out, my phone lit up,
Oh, well.
and I was like, "Oh my gosh! I hope I hope YNR doesn't think that I'm announcing I'm going back to YNR. I hope they don't think I'm that guy."
Yeah.
And my phone just lit. So I immediately get on my social media and I said, "Hey, not going back to Young and Restless. I don't know what the rumor is. I don't know why anyone would say that. I am not in talks with YNR. I'm not going back to YNR. Not happening. But thanks for asking. Thanks for inquiring." And so about 2 weeks after that, so I would say it was around, August 18th or 20th, I get a call. I'm sitting on my patio having a coffee. My son was visiting again. So you're going to have a coffee with my wife and my son. And it's Greg Salmon, casting director of YNR. And Greg says, Jay Eddie, he says, this is Greg. He says, are you getting my messages? And I said, no, Greg, what messages? He said, well, I've been emailing you and I've left you messages. And he says, listen, we want to bring you back to the show. He said, are you interested? I just start laughing. I'm laughing and I'm shedding a tear. So I said, oh, Greg, this is hilarious. I said, this rumor got out a couple of weeks ago. And I said, it turned out, I guess it's true. I hear I'm the last one to know. See, here I am, Suzanne. I'm the last one to know that I'm going back to the show. And I'm the last one to know, hey, stupid, you're fired.
That's
So
funny, but
anyway, I just, I
but
just,
there's
I
so
have
many
been so
rumors
confused.
out there all the time about soap
Yeah,
and actors
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
There
So
is. I
I
mean,
always tell people, don't believe anything at all until you see it in a verified publication because you just don't
yeah,
know, and it's just
yeah.
speculation most of the time. Even if it turns out to be true, it's not necessarily true, and you shouldn't depend on it and spread
Well,
it.
it's like you said, oftentimes it's speculative.
Yeah.
Maybe something is a rumor or a thought, but then, once it gets out there, people may think it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well, so you had a great deal of chemistry with everyone on the show,
thank you.
particularly Haley, who played Cole's
Thank you.
daughter,
Mhm.
Claire, and Amelia, who plays Victoria, the love of Cole's life, arguably.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
talk about working with them?
Oh, well, yeah. I will start off with Haley. Um, Haley is, I think she's about the age, or so she's somewhere between my two adult sons. And I don't have a daughter, but I mean, from maybe the second day that I worked with her, I just really felt a connection with her in a fatherly way. And I think what that is she's such a special young lady. She's a mother, a wife. She's classy. She's unique. I feel like Haley has a maturity and almost like a throwback to another era.
Hmm.
She's not your typical young lady of her age. She's not even your typical actor of her age. She has a really wonderful, wonderful quality about her, and I just found it endearing. And I just connected. When I say connected, I mean Cole just really connected
Sure.
with what she was giving me. And I've always had in my mind the history of where Cole was, what happened in his life,
Mhm.
his loves, his disappointments. I knew that Cole never had children over the years. I knew that Cole never had a deep, meaningful relationship when he was gone all of that time. That was truly always the way that I had seen him in my mind. Um, and it was uncanny how the writers picked up on his history exactly the way that I had seen it. And, because they could have easily said, well, Cole was married and divorced and he lost his
Right.
wife and, all different kinds of things. I knew that he had never had a deep, meaningful relationship. And they actually brought that up in a conversation between Cole and Victoria one day. She had said to him, "Well, Cole, you're a professor at Oxford, and you must have ran across and had a number of relationships and things of that nature." And he said, "Well, I had a tryst or two, but I never really had any deep, meaningful relationship." And that truly is the way I always saw this character. I always saw him, even when he was married to Ashley, which he cared a great deal for Ashley, but his true love was always Victoria. And that's why he went outside his marriage to I think so much was just the way I played him, the way that Bill wrote him, that even back in the day, I was always trying to steer it back to Victoria, even when I was working with Ashley. And,
Right.
and I really enjoyed working with those actresses, Sherry and Eileen. Loved it and loved the Ashley character, wonderful
Right.
character.
She's great. Yeah.
But I felt Cole's heart was always with Victoria. And so when Amelia, took over that role in '04, just prior to that, she was on All My Children,
Hmm.
and I had several different love interests on All My Children for the time that I was there,
Sure.
but Amelia was my last one, and Cole, Jake and Mia actually got engaged just
Right.
before I left the show, and they so there was a connection there. There was a friendship there that Amelia and I had, and I thought we had a really nice chemistry on that show. Just
Yes,
from
definitely.
absolutely from the get-go, there was just a nice chemistry there.
Yeah, I watched
So,
that one too. So
oh,
I
good.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for even remembering. It was so long ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was long ago. But anyway, yeah, I absolutely believed that all the goods were there. If they had chose to go more that direction and for a longer period of time. I just really believe that Cole's relationship with Claire and the chemistry and the three of us had, which is it's fun. It was unique, I think, and I think it worked. And the other thing too, Suzanne, is that I I don't hate to use the word designed, but I guess you could say that I saw a path for Cole.
Mhm.
Um, his personality, his history, his love and devotion. He's a hopeless romantic. He has a sense of humor. He's a strong male who will fight to the death for his family and anything he believes in. I knew I had the fire in the belly, if you will, as an actor, just like I do as a father and a husband in real life. And I knew that I could make that character very, very interesting if I had the opportunity to do more with it, and especially to at this time in my life, this time in my life, I'm a very different person
Mhm.
than what I was 25 years ago. Fatherhood and life and ups and downs and reinventing myself as I had to do when I left acting. All these kinds of things, have deepened me as a person and it's kind of shaped me into a different person than who I was in the 1990s.
Well, I guess that's the best of what happens to us as we get older and mature and we
Yeah.
hopefully become better people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's what makes it so interesting, for all actors, as we all get older, I think motherhood for the ladies that I've worked with, whether it was Amelia or whether it was Heather Tom, I know Heather, when I worked all those years ago, she was just this young ingenue, this young lady with this tremendous amount of talent. But I know that she's a different person today. She's had a very long, successful marriage, and she's a mother. And all the years of experience and her close relationship with her mother and things that she had, and all these things, really shape all of us. And I think that's what makes daytime such a dynamic
Hmm.
medium, is that we see these characters grow and evolve from their youth and through their trials and tribulations to hopefully seasoned, mature, interesting people. And
Right.
it's not just the characters, it's us as
Definitely.
actors too. That's what makes, I think, the storylines so much more compelling and more interesting in this medium than anywhere else. And that is that we see and experience the life that these characters go through and how that changes them,
Right.
and generally for the better.
The character development is great. Has always
Yeah.
been great on soaps. And then
Yeah.
like you were saying about I forgot what I was gonna say, but anyway. um um the is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about working on the show, and do
Hmm.
you have any funny behind the scenes stories
Well, let me think here. Funny and behind the scenes. You
that you're
know,
allowed to tell?
yeah, exactly. Well, at Y&R, I think I grew up a lot, by the time I got to Y&R, even in the 90s. When I was on Days of Our Lives, uh, we were stinkers, and especially me. I had to be one of the worst. Bye, honey. My wife's checking out. I had to be one of the worst when it came to just doing stupid pranks,
Mm,
stupid stuff on my fellow actor buddies on the show. Oh gosh. I hate to even tell some of the stuff I used to do. But anyway, yeah, over there was a lot of, we were just younger guys and just a lot of crazy stuff. I know we didn't have showers in our dressing rooms. Of course, at YNR, we always had a shower in the dressing room. So if you
ah,
choose to shower at work, you can shower in your dressing room. All my children, we did not have showers in the dressing room.
right.
And at Days, most of the time I was there, actually was one of the few people who did have a shower in the dressing room, because I had Red Fox's dressing room, which was that you had to walk through a whole other empty stage to get to the main stage. And a lot of the actors went, Mike, I don't want to walk that far. Just give me one of the close rooms. And I was like, wait a minute. That room's got a shower and it's got a steam. I take it. I want that room. I don't care how far I got to walk. But before I took that room, Suzanne, there was a downstairs area. Most of us guys were downstairs. Most all of us were. And we'd have to shower, down in the community shower and whatnot. And you didn't have a separate stall, and I think there was just two showers. There might have been one. I think there was two. Yeah. There was two. And so when Michael Easton or Robert Melhouse, when they would be in there showering or whatever, man, I'd sneak down there, I'd sneak in there, and I'd grab the freezing cold water I could get outside in the hallway, not the tap, but really really cold stuff. They'd be in their shower. I'd douse them with the cold water, just mean stupid stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a lot of other funny stuff that I really can't tell. But we were always cutting up and doing things. When I was at Y&R, for whatever reason, it wasn't as juvenile as what as what I was allowed to be on some of the other shows. And the same thing too, again, I was more mature, where by the time I went to All My Children, I wasn't doing any shenanigans. And then, Y&R, after I left Days and went to Y&R, there were no shenanigans. I'm trying to think if the other folks did stuff. But
I I heard that
that,
the actor that plays Nick,
oh yeah,
he is a practical joke.
Nick is yeah, Josh is hilarious. He's very very funny. He's a very special individual. I just have so much respect for Josh, because I remember when he came in his very first day, and Josh was originally from Oklahoma, and he had been living out in the LA area in the Valley for a short amount of time,
Mhm.
and going to school playing basketball for a junior college. And I got Pilgrim saying he's just handing me his ball, handing me his ball. Says, "Come on, Dad, it's ball time." Yeah, hopefully or not. But anyway, I remember when Josh first came in, and I want to say he was 19. I think he was 19 years old.
He was pretty young, I remember.
He was young, and those first scenes, I was doing those first scenes with him. He was Victoria's brother, and he came. But I was going to say, he's just a great guy with a tremendous sense of humor. All of the younger guys on the show are all super special. I mean, they're great guys. They're great individuals. Hearts of gold. Everybody's a really, really good. Just a really good person. Everybody's so solid. I've said to my sons, you know, when I look at my cast members, um, these aren't. I wouldn't necessarily. These are people that are fortunate, but these aren't people who got lucky.
Hmm.
These are people that are so special and unique and have a multitude of gifts and qualities which made put them in a position to where they could win that special job. And then when they won that special job, they grew from there and they improved and they were professional and they've hung on, to those roles. And trust me when I tell you that these are not just lucky people who happen to land on a soap. I think that sometimes there were those people maybe 30 years ago or more, but I really think, especially with our cast over at Y&R,
Hmm.
these are really, really talented, deserving people that have these coveted jobs and roles and characters that we love. They're wonderful. I'm huge. I'm a
Right.
huge fan of my cast on that show, as it was every cast that I ever worked with.
Right.
They're just really, really special, talented people that don't take anything for granted. They're professional. People know their stuff. They show up prepared. There's no slacking. They're good. And you know, I have seen people that, you know, I don't want to say slack, but maybe weren't as professional or prepared.
Mhm.
And that's not slacking. It's just like some people just have a problem getting that
Right.
material down, Suzanne, and
Right.
be
It's
deliver it,
hard.
deliver it well, and the people I work with are a lot better at it than I am. They're really, really good at it, and they're tremendous. And anyway, but funny stories. Let's see. Do I have anything? I'm sure, that there are, um, but I can't. I can't.
Right. No, they're
Think
they're not for.
of anything. I will say that, in the 90s and everything, I used to socialize a lot more with the cast and do,
Mhm.
we'd go to the Emmys and we'd all go hang out and go out to dinner, go out dancing and all those kind of things.
Right.
And even over there, even over the show, I used to socialize a lot with the cast and maybe I don't know what it is now, but this time coming back, I'm friends, but I never really socialized, with him.
Right.
Probably because most of the people who do the socializing, were quite a bit younger than me, and I'm that guy that I would finish up with work and oh my gosh, I'd love to go do this, or I'd love to go meet a friend for lunch. I got to race home because I was always rescuing dogs, and
Right. Right.
oh, I can't leave my wife with umpteen million dogs at the house.
Right.
I got to rush home, or
And
I
how
got to.
long have you been doing the dog fostering and rescuing?
Well, my mother had an animal rescue when I grew up as a boy in Joplin, Missouri. So that really kind of initiated me with that when I would get home from school. If I didn't have sports after school, then I was racing home to bottle feed, to clean up after the puppies, or clean the kennels, or do something. Or hey, I need you to go with me. We're gonna go
So
pick up
she
a dog.
trained you and all that.
She trained me with all that, exactly.
It's good.
But what she really did was that she opened my eyes to just the plight of the dogs. We have the same issues today that we did in the 1970s, which
Sure.
is spaying and neutering, getting people to spay and neuter their animals. We have overpopulation.
Mhm.
We have dogs that are going in the shelter situations, and the shelters are overrun all over the country. And obviously a lot of shelters euthanize, and that's what we have out here in LA. Most, not all, but most euthanize. And what I try to do is I try to help find the homes and place and bring attention to the dogs that are on the 72-hour list. So, you know, my time is limited.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of things that I want to do at this time in my life. I'm 66 years old and I want to make the best use of my time while I have my health and things. But to be honest with you, Suzanne, my wife and I are up every single night following the plight of these dogs. We get alerts and things of the situations and dogs that are critical. We just can't, you can't turn your back on it.
Right.
It's not something that I can just walk away from and, oh, gee, that's a bad problem. And I can't. And I just feel compelled to try to do more to try to help these animals and to educate people more too. So I'm trying to more so than, hey, I'm going to try to place and find a home for this particular dog, which I do a lot of, but I've exhausted
Hmm.
my Rolodex. I've exhausted every friend, family, people see me coming, oh, here he
Yeah.
is again. It's a place for dogs. Can we help it? Can we keep it? Can we foster it?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to do fundraising. I'm trying to expand more on the education of people throughout my entire area and things. We have a lot of folks in Los Angeles that are from all over the world, and folks from all over the world have different cultures and different cultures that the way in which they view spaying and neutering and things of that nature. So we have, there's an educational campaign, that I really think that we need to do, and I'm working with that. I'm working with raising money, particularly for my shelter here in Santa Clarita. I did a fundraiser here about 4 months ago that thankfully I had some really nice people that did the heavy lifting.
Good.
I that really did most of the work for me, but we were able to raise some good money. And then I'm involved with another philanthropist type of person here within my community, and we have a big gala coming up on November 1st.
Okay.
And
I don't
so,
want to cut you short, but I have to walk my dog before it gets
oh, okay.
dark. And
Sorry.
I have some questions for you from fans. So can I text
Please,
you
please.
those and then you send me back the answers?
Sure, sure.
Because I posted on Facebook and everything.
Oh, did you want to do it now with Zoom or?
No, I don't have time.
Oh, you don't have time.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
because I have
So
about,
you just want to send me some questions and you want me to?
just send you me the answers. That's fine. Is
Okay, okay, sure. We can do
that
that.
okay?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You bet, Suzanne. I hope I didn't go on too much about the dogs.
No, 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 no. I love hearing about the dogs. You get the
Okay,
show and everything. So,
okay. Hey, Suzanne, let me know when you get it ready and you're gonna do what you want to do with it. Those pictures
I
that I
will.
sent, use one or use as many as you want. I just
All
sent
right.
you a lot to give you choose some for your story.
Thank you. And
Okay.
whatever you should post those on Instagram. Your fans would love seeing those.
You know what? I haven't, and you're right. I need to. Thank
Yeah.
you. I never have. That's a good idea. Thanks
It's
so.
easy and free. You got it right there. So
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much, Suzanne. It's a pleasure meeting you.